Okay, folks, we're back, and we're talking with Tina Pine this morning, 5th and 6th grade teacher. However, I'm kind of zeroed in on this idea of grit and self-discipline. When we think about the 5th and 6th grade, we're not going to have discipline problems per se. Every once in a while, I may have an academic referral or something to deal with. But when I say teaching 5th and 6th graders self-discipline, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's interesting that you mention that, because at the beginning of the year, I usually have a thought or a characteristic that we're going to kind of frame ourselves around. And this year it was going to be self-control.
Which is very similar.
Which is very similar.
Yes.
And it's not quite the same.
Yes.
But for 5th and 6th grade, it is very different than it is for the lower grades, that they need to be able to work independently, that they need to be able to ask for help when they need it, that I do expect them to have the control to do the work that they need to do and to not interrupt their friends and neighbors when they are working independently, that I expect their homework to be done, when they come in each day, which, homework is 15, 20 minutes. It's not an extreme amount by any means, but I do expect to have it done. And I tell them that this is all part of a bigger plan. This is starting that process that's getting you ready for high school and ready for the teachers upstairs. So.
Good point. I'm passing out these articles to the 8th through 12th graders today, and one of them says grit basically trumps IQ and talent. And when I told the kid, I said, I don't mean Donald Trump, I said trumps, but grit trumps IQ and talent. As someone who's gone through the school, raised your children, and now you're back in Long Lake, and now you're teaching 5th and 6th graders. What are your thoughts on that concept that grit trumps IQ and talent?
I think it's absolutely true. I mean, we all know of situations where a person who was not successful in the traditional way, but ended up being the most successful in their life because they stuck with something. And we've seen that in our own classrooms, that we have kids who they work really hard, they end up getting it, and it's like, okay, now it makes sense, because they stuck with it, and they actually probably have a better understanding of the concept or the topic than someone else who may have breezed through it, but they didn't actually work at it.
Yes. I love the part about sticking with it. So when you talk to your students today, at some point, I'd like you to talk to them about sticking with music. Even if you don't like it, even though it's not fun anymore, it's no longer new. Sticking to athletics. We had someone who chose not to continue playing a certain sport. It actually happened today, this morning. My day opened up with that, because we had to change buses, because it was the only person playing this sport. So I'm thinking, at your grade level, that's really a time when we can still catch them. They understand the concept a bit, and I love the fact that you have even personal experiences, because when you were raising your own girls, I mean, you put your career to the side, which is really special if you think about it. I mean, juggling, because now you had less resources coming in.
Absolutely.
You weren't working, and you had to make those decisions. So I'd encourage you to continue to, persuade our youngsters to have grit, and maybe through storytelling. Not to get so personal with your own personal story, but you can think of others.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I told him today about Michael Jordan was cut from his JV team as a sophomore. Who's going to believe it? It's a true story. So he was persistent. So how is life here? I always ask this question, are you happy here?
Absolutely.
And why is that?
I love the kids. I think we have a phenomenal community, and the parents, the entire community really is very special. Before I came back to work full-time, I started subbing. I subbed in a variety of different districts. This was the district I wanted to be in. It was very special. This is where I chose to be. I am very happy here.
And I'll tell you what I'm happy with. I'm happy with that end of the hall down there where you and your bookend, your neighbor, I'm talking about Mary, you really have that end of the hallway covered. I don't have to walk down there very often. I know that end's covered. You know what I mean by that. But I think you complement each other with your belief system and your teaching style, and I can tell you have a nice friendship.
Yeah.
I can see why you're happy.
Yeah.
So, Well, if you're happy, I'm happy. And with that, I'm sorry?
I was like, glad to hear that. You're happy.
Gotta be happy. All right, folks, thank you for joining us for another edition of Carlisle's Corner.